Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
If you've been hurt in a road accident that wasn't your fault, you should really talk to G4 Claims first. Unlike road accident solicitors, we don't charge you for our services, which could see you better off. To keep 100% of your compensation, have a chat with Nicole and the team. You'll be glad you did. Search online for G4 Claims.
Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sellik the Thunder, episode 141, live here from the G4 Claims studio. It's Thursday night, you know what that means. I'm glad to be joined by my two marvellous guests across the couch from me. It's Mr. Kieran Auld and Dylan Murdoch. I'll start with you, Dylan, as you raise your one in the air.
Don't know why I did that, bro. Knowledge in the chief.
How you doing?
No, I'm good. Feel a bit better than last week. Sunburn's chilled out a bit.
It's died down a wee bit.
Even though it's still quite warm outside. But nah, good to be back and looking forward to the weekend for a rare home game. I feel like it's been a while since we were at home, so then look forward to next week for the title party.
The last Saturday, 3 o'clock of the season. Are you sad that it's coming to an end?
It feels like it's been weirdly quick. See, I don't know if I'm just saying that because it's near the end of the season, but I remember like renewing my season ticket this season and it's time to do it again. Earn money at the bank.
Another 600 quid gone. I'm sure we'll talk about ticket prices at some point during this episode. And joining me, the man who was very eloquent last week in his views around ticket prices up and down the country, it's Kieran Auld.
It's good to be back.
Giving it an introduction this week.
I know, last week I was just, that's Kieran. Well, just for that, Ryan.
I thought that was, enough.
I ran out of words to say.
Yeah, 141 episodes in, Kieran.
I know. We're too acclimatised to it now. But I know it's been a good week. The weather's actually surprisingly good in this country for a change, hopefully, and it looks like it's going to keep up for even next weekend as well, which is ideal. But even I was actually thinking last week we were talking about Dylan's sunburn on here. The very next day, absolute fucking bright red. Died down, to be fair, but
what day was it we went for a? Oh no, it was a Wednesday before the film, and we went for a podcast for a pint, and I was you weren't sunburnt then, so
it was the Friday.
Day after.
Got to get the sunscreen on, boys. Come on,
got the after sun in the fridge, yeah, man. Amazing.
I'm taking fucking carrot oil to Santa Pons. I'm fed up being chalk white, man. I'm coming back golden brown.
Coming back fucking with sun boys.
What a day, but I mean, historic. We've got a new pope, a Yank pope. What in
Chicago?
What in the woke? Well, he's been based in Peru, I think, for the last however many years. So, but Yank pope. I wasn't expecting that.
No, I certainly wasn't.
I'm quite sad that the conclave's done. I've been see last night I sat watching that chimney for 3 hours. Just sat with it on one monitor, just waiting for the smoke to come, even though I knew it was going to be black smoke. I'm going to be sad that it's done the...
You're hoping there's going to be another new pope?
No, of course not.
Two popes.
Of course not. We don't have to repeat like 1978, 3 popes in the 1 year. Don't need that. Anyway, so good day for the Catholics, I suppose. But Sellik, got to talk about Sellik. Not so much of a good day for the Catholics last weekend. We didn't quite get the job done at Ibrox. It was a pretty stale affair. I thought we'd kick off the show just kind of talking about that because, last week's was a preview building to that game. Kieran, it was a 1-1 draw and a very meaningless derby. I don't think either team particularly played well. Just one of those days. You could tell that the season was over for both teams, really.
Aye. I mean,
league seasons, I should say.
I mean, people were saying it on Twitter, but that really is a very forgettable derby. It's one of the ones you look back and go, fuck, mind that game even happened. But, I mean, it was frustrating, the fact, I think it was more so the fact we could have won it, and at the very end, that would have been a nice wee icing on the cake. The only positive you can take is they didn't beat us 3 times in the season, so we can stop talking about that. But
actually finished perfectly even, didn't it? 2 wins Celtic, 2 wins Rangers draw
with a League Cup final. But as you said, it was a pretty miserable day at the office for both teams. I felt nobody was really at it. in the first half, I think we could have had a couple of goals. Just wasn't our day. It seemed. I mean, a lot of criticism at half time. Adam Ida, who then came to get the goal in the second half, albeit with a deflection. But I mean, there's not really much to say on the game, is there?
No, it feels like revisiting it, especially coming up a week later. It really does put into perspective how bland a game it was and how meaningless a game it was. But at the end of the day, it's a derby. You want to win every derby. What was your thoughts in the 90 minutes of football?
It was weird because I was actually thinking about when we did the podcast, like nobody spoke about the possibility of a draw, but I think that just sums up because like Kieran's speaking about it. I think the main thing is we didn't lose 3 games in a row because that would have been really frustrating. But I think it's more annoying the fact like some people take a draw, some people's not happy with a draw. I personally, I wouldn't say it's not a big deal, but I wasn't happy with it because as Kieran said, there was chances to win it. The chance we made at the end, Ida missed a big chance in the first half. Cut of passes, it could have been better. But at the end of the day, it's just probably a forgettable game. But kind of suits both teams, I guess. But just to move on now to the cup final.
Is it more important? Is the glass half full sort of outlook that Celtic won the 2 games that mattered? They won the cup final. They won the derby where there was legitimate pressure involved. I mean, you look at even the January game. There was no pressure. Celtic had won the league. I don't care what anybody says. The league was done by Christmas this year. So does it matter that the 2 that happened before Christmas were the 2 that Celtic won at the end of the day?
That definitely helps. I think I actually said that at the time I went, because obviously we had a nice bit of a gap in the league, so I went, I think the main thing, I did say to my pal at the time, I was like, as long as we win this cup final, that's the main thing, and then you wouldn't really mind too much if you lost to Ibrox. Obviously it's still frustrating, you want to win every derby, but winning the first game at Parkhead was always a big one, the first game of the first derby of the season, the way we did it as well, and then the cup final could have probably went either way, but we get to win, so that was the main thing.
So, Kieran, I guess one of the bigger questions, and not to spend too long dwelling on that game, but one of the bigger things that I think we can take coming out of it is the fact that it now maybe highlights where Celtic need to improve. It might exaggerate the point that Brendan Rodgers was trying to make to the board early in the season, that this team does need freshness. So is there maybe a positive to take from the disappointments? The fact that we did lose to them twice, the fact that we did draw to them at Ibrox, is there maybe a positive to take in the sense that this might help spearhead a little bit of renovation in the Celtic team in the summer?
I suppose you could take that as the silver lining for, as we said, what is an otherwise very boring spectacle that got put on Sunday at Ibrox. But a lot of positions, I think, you've seen the frailties in the squad. When everybody's seen that squad getting put out, you're thinking, how on earth is certain players, I don't want to throw them under the bus right now, but certain players getting a start at Ibrox in May of 2025, names that should have been consigned to the past, maybe. It's just, I think it might have done a job in proving that point, that certainly maybe defensively we're lacking quite a bit, especially in the squad depth sense. People were kind of off it as well, so it doesn't really help the case, but I think Rodgers would have known going into that game the point it was going to make, and I think the support are now very unanimous behind certain positions needing strengthened. But know that they weren't already like earmarked as something that needed attention.
Well, Rodgers does like to make a point, naturally.
We know that man loves a point. But I do think defensively you've seen the frailties in that team, and hopefully we remedy it in the summer.
Well, it's a big summer, a big season again, as Celtic obviously contested the massive major takeover of Rangers and whatnot. You know, Celtic will be defending a treble, so it's a huge season, and for so many reasons outside of the derby we want to improve this team, and I think we will see improvement to the team. Simply the Best though, eh? That was always a good laugh. I enjoyed that. You a fan of Simply the Best being sung? Do you think we should play it on Trophy Day?
I don't know what my stance is on that. I think they will play it on Trophy Day, and I think I probably will be joining in. But I don't know. It's a good laugh.
And your stilettos and high heels and whatnot.
I need to run down the stair and get changed, then run straight back up.
What about you, Dylan? You're not in our group chat, so in our season ticket group chat, so it's hard to. I've not had your reaction to it. What's your stance on Simply the Best?
See, I actually seen it right. I noticed it right away when it happened. I was like, I swear the Celtic fans are joining in that. And you seen the balloons at 55 and I was like, and then you seen a couple of Rangers fans like that, just looking at the side and that. I was like, I think it's quite funny to be honest, because it's actually really start annoying Rangers fans.
Aye.
Especially my pals. Oh, why are you singing our song, you weirdos? And I'm like, is it your song? Just noise them up. But
Yeah,
I think it's a good laugh, to be fair.
Aye. See, the thing is, this is years. So I'm a gold radio man. Right, that's my radio station. I love the music of the 60s, 70s, 80s, and as soon as I hear the first doom in that song, I don't care how staunch this sounds. I can't stand it. I turn it down like straight away. I'm like, I'll get 3.5 minutes. They'll turn the radio back on, and now I'm like, well,
I did that.
The shoulders gone.
Exactly. Ooh.
Did that holiday, it was like a karaoke bar and I just heard somebody walk up. I didn't think of the Rangers fan, I think they just liked the song. I just heard the dun. I was like, oh, fuck.
I know you forget it's actually a huge number one hit. Like it's just a Rangers song.
People booing, I don't think they care.
Some wee Spaniard and fucking Mallorca, I like that. Anyway, derbies, we'll come back to them next season. We're done with the derby hypotheticals and figures of speech for a season. Get ready for the first form goes at the windy.
Season September.
Form goes at the windy. So this weekend, Celtic are back in action, of course, and we should probably talk about it against Hibs, who have proven to be a difficult side this season. Of course, on the verge of doing something very historic for their recent standards, and that's finish third and do so and great for. I mean, the streak undefeated, unbelievable. David Gray's had a phenomenal campaign. They obviously beat us the last time we played them at Easter Road. This is a big game this weekend, Dylan. Even though the league is wrapped up for Celtic and it's just a kind of conclusion to things now. Hibs are going to come to Celtic Park wanting to make sure they finish third this season, and that's going to make it a really difficult game for Celtic.
Aye, it's a big game for Hibs, because obviously they get the result back, obviously lost to Aberdeen, but then Aberdeen slipped up. So I know we got to Celtic Park in form and in the mood to show up. So I think obviously 'cause we get the better in the last game in the cup, but I think hopefully Celtic are still up for it, because I know the season's over, but we're still going into that cup final. Want to keep up the performances. I know there'll probably be a few changes going into the weekend, but no, it'd be good to keep that form up going into the cup final. But Hibs obviously beat his last team in the league, so it'd be nice to get one back on them in the league.
We were talking about it very briefly in the car on the way here, talking about just how the last league game went and how the fact that Hibs come with such riding on it. Is that dangerous for Celtic? We don't have anything riding on this game, but Hibs do. So is complacency?
I was going to say that. I think it is going to be really important to guard against that complacency this weekend, because even though this team's got to end and finish the season strong, when you are at this point, but it is easy to just sort of let your guard down, because there is really nothing to play for in the league for us, but you don't want to be getting beaten the last few games, so you want to go with a bit of a flourish here, especially going into the cup final.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because it reminds me of Ange's last season when we were remember the split was this. We took what? 7. We needed how many points? We took 7 points for the split, I think, for the last 5 games.
Because if they're talking about trying to break the
we needed 8
record,
points, and I think we took 7. And we never obviously last year was completely different. Last year the split was genuinely quite important. So this is the first time in a couple of years it's been like that, Kieran, and it'll be weird to see Rodgers tested in that environment, I suppose, with his side.
I suppose just trying to make sure the players are still up for it. It's easy to get them up for the cup final because everybody knows what's on the line there, but now that we are over the line with the league, the derby itself as well is another one where it's against your rivals. That in itself is a big game, but now it's just about, we've got Hibs, Aberdeen, then St Mirren. Obviously trophy day, everybody knows you need to finish on a flourish on these days, but when it comes to Hibs and Aberdeen, we are playing 2 teams that are contesting third spot. I mean, we're talking about how Hibs are going to be up for it coming to Celtic Park. I think they'll have it in the back of their minds as well that the team they're competing with to get third spot is going to Ibrox against a team that hasn't won there since February. So surely that's going to be playing their minds thinking that they may be coming here thinking, right, we need to try and get something for this game, whether it's a point. So I think it is just about Celtic having to raise their levels again and, as I said, finish the season strongly, but try and... I don't care if Hibs get third, but I don't want to be the team that helps them to get there. I want us to do our jobs and ruin the hopes of every other fan base, so I'm just hoping Celtic get the job done.
Just as you were talking, I couldn't help but think, I wonder if they'll come with a big crowd like they came for the quarter final, or if it'll be back to normal.
But Hibs on...
Aye, Hibs. Aye.
Oh, no chance.
Aye, they've not been getting that many, have they?
No,
actually, that's a
they'll
cup allocation
get
cost.
the...
Just a
get
sliver.
I'd imagine they'll have sold that.
Aye. It's an interesting game. I think that Celtic are obviously in a bit of a predicament in terms of, where players are struggling with injury. We heard that Nicholas Kuhn might be back. So I don't want to be the sceptic of YouTube and Celtic fan media. I'm not coming out here and saying that Celtic are underdogs by any stretch, but I think it's definitely one of those games, Dylan, that there's always the potential banana peel sitting there just because of the position that we're in, both with the success that we already have in the league, but also when you consider stuff like injuries and whatnot. There's always caution in these sorts of games.
I think you said it best with Ange's last season. I think we've seen it over the years. There's been a couple of games where Celtic just haven't showed up that proper way in the split. Obviously, sometimes the league's been over. Even games where we've had to win in the split, it's been a bit rocky, a bit like end of the season, it's going to be dodgy, 1-2-0, 2-1s. But I think the interesting thing for me is what the team will be, because sometimes at this part of the season you want to give people a run out, but then obviously we've got the cup final come up. Do you keep the strongest team into that run for form and stuff? So obviously when Adam has been scoring the goals, but would you give Kenny a run out? Do you do the change of defence, blah blah? So I think that's the only thing I'm interested in to see, because obviously you still want to keep your strongest team and see what players are in the best form going into the cup final, because obviously I've seen James Forrest start a lot of games, Ralston's come in for Johnson, just to see what the team will be.
It's an interesting point, because especially last week when Kenny came on the park, I felt there was a good amount of Celtic fans saying, he looked sharp when he came on, he looked hungry, like he wanted to make an impact. Of course he'd have left the game with a goal, but a lot of criticism. But are we in a place where we can start going, let's just throw consistency out the window and let's bring in players and give them chances? I don't quite know if Brendan Rodgers is the kind of manager that thinks like that, but then again, he is unpredictable,
I suppose. But I mean, this is the time of season where you can kind of expect the leniency to make those changes in the team. But as Dylan said, we're in the build up to a cup final here, a potential treble on the line. So do you foot about with it too much? I mean, I know we are hampered with injuries, but I think if you've got players like you do who maybe was getting a bit of criticism at the weekend, you want to try and get him into a bit of form, and that sounds horrible to say, to completely starve Johnny Kenny any starting minutes. I mean, if he was to start on Saturday, I would not complain, but I think realistically you're wanting to get your big hitters, getting them hopefully a couple of goals under their belt before you go into that cup final, because I mean, I was just thinking, we were talking about a couple of seasons ago and maybe the poor form in the split, maybe, because I remember going into Angie's second season, going into that final against Inverness, and there was conversations about how the way we'd been playing had put some nerves in people's heads, like going into a game against Inverness. And
it was quite an every game, wasn't it?
Like, we never really done much to calm the nerves on the day, so it's like you want to, you're coming up against Aberdeen in the cup final as well, so it's no...
Especially one of probably the most difficult teams all Rangers in it still, even though they've not been doing.
It's a really... I mean, I guess we can maybe talk about the team. I mean, it's match day 36. Like, we don't need to sit here and go, how will Celtic approach the game? I think we've seen enough games this season and enough games against Hibs this season. They're one of the few teams that we've played 4 times already. So, there's not much we can do in the
Have we played Hibs 5 times already?
Did we play them in the League Cup as well?
Played them in the League Cup.
Shit, 5.
So that's about the 5th.
Man, fucking Celtic and Hibs play each other every week, man.
So I'm sure they were the first team to score in it this season. I might be wrong. But,
here, that
sounds
makes
a wee
right
Schmeichel thing.
Run. Oh my God! If you think we're giving you any tactical insight, you can fuck off.
I got watch the 5 previous games.
So the team, Schmeichel, once again, as always, we preface this by saying we're doing this before Brendan Rodgers' press conference on Friday afternoon. I wonder what the injury update will be in regards to Schmeichel, Kuhn, Johnston, and a couple of others. I think that we're still going to see Sinsalo in goals. I think that Schmeichel is at tops coming back for St Mirren. I think that might be where he gets brought back in, give him a run out before the cup final. But I wouldn't be stunned if Sinsalo gets to the final.
Anyway, I was going to say, I think he had a good game.
I think he might play the final, man. I've got a chat. The only thing that I can't caveat that by saying is this could be. I mean, there's no definites in football. This could be Kasper Schmeichel's last ever cup final. You don't know if Celtic are going to make it cup finals next year. So will Rodgers give him that benefit of the doubt and go, right, Schmeichel will play? I don't know, but
then you've got the argument that Sinsalo was signed sort of as the the forward planning
Aye.
move to succeed, Schmeichel. So
Is that the kind of stage you want to bring him into and
See what you can do.
But I mean, I think
get him ready for it?
if he gives me a strong showings in the next few games,
Well, we've got a cup final preview still to do. I still think it'll be Sansalo this weekend. Back four, do we think Johnston will be back?
I don't think he'll rush him back.
Nah, I don't think
Maybe
so.
the bench, but I don't think he'll start.
Nah, I think bench is the furthest. There we go. Because you don't want to risk missing him for the final. I think you need him in the final. Who do you think Kieran will join? Who do you think the centre half partnership will be?
No Scales.
Do you think Scales will be dropped?
I think he should be,
Right.
personally.
So do I.
So
And I think he will be.
I think Carter Vickers and Trusty.
Aye. Big chance for Trusty if he comes back in, Dylan, especially at a cup final.
Aye, definitely, because we've seen parts of the season where he was the main man with Carter Vickers and then kind of fell out the team a wee bit. So I think it'd be good for him to see what he can do going into the cup final. Plus, not to be too harsh on Skills, but I think he probably should be that just because I think he should have done better for the goal last weekend. Maybe I'm being too harsh.
I know.
I
I
don't
think
know,
I think there's maybe even scope for a bigger conversation surrounding Scales.
I think with Scales, but everybody focuses on the goal itself. But even watching the game, I said to my dad a couple of times, I'm like,
Same.
like, if Scales had just committed to a tackle on the halfway line, I think there was 2 occasions when they were breaking away. Even if he has to take a yellow card at one of the instances just to slow them down, both times they go a shot away on goal or they're right up our end, I'm like, it's putting us in immediate danger because he's hesitating to make these challenges, and you can't really get away with that.
No, it's no top level defending. I'm not going to lie. I think when you know how we've heard Brendan, and not to change the whole point of this part of the podcast, but Brendan Rodgers has alluded to the fact that some players maybe only just cut for it. I think Scales might be one of the players. I have a feeling he might not be involved very much, if at all, with Celtic next season. And I've got a few of the Irish fans in the comments saying, "Oh, you're targeting the Irish boys." And I'm like, guys, I love anybody of any creed or nationality. It does not define them for me. But Scales is a weak point in the team when he plays, and that's it. He's had great games.
I know, like,
But everybody plays well once in a while. They play poorly once in a while as well. It's just a matter of fact, really. But that's a whole.
I feel like I've maybe reached the end of my tether when it comes to Liam Scales at Celtic, and I don't even mean it in a harsh way. I just feel like there's been too many instances now where he has the wee purple patch and people are back on his on his good side, and then it's just it reveals the things, and then you remember why he was trapped for the team initially, and I feel like they just keep getting trapped in this cycle.
Yep.
I'm personally going to put it to an end.
If you see Kieran in the Lennoxtown photos tomorrow, you know why. Left back, do you think Taylor will be staying in the team this weekend? Will Schlipp get one last potential Parkhead run out?
I think that's actually a hard one, to be honest,
I know.
because Rodgers has
Maybe
been
the
in,
hardest position in the park to pick, innit?
I think the last couple of weeks has been where Rodgers is kind of. Sometimes you've come in here no known injury problems or like whatever, but I think that's a hard one to call, especially because Taylor, Ibrox, I don't know.
I didn't think he had a great game.
Nah, that's what I mean. So I'm like, would you throw Schlupp? I think he probably could throw Schlupp on.
I think we'll see Schlupp.
Realistically, I think we'll see Schlupp for one reason, because I think next week Taylor's going to start, and they're going to give him this big, weird. Is he gone? Is he no? Is he getting a send off? Is he not? Like it's going to be a wee cat and mouse sort of thing. So I think Schlupp might start tomorrow. We all agree in them with the back four. Johnson,
I think so.
Ralston, Vickers, Trusty, and Schlupp. Okay. Midfield 3, does it remain unchanged?
See, this is interesting.
I would like to see Bernardo.
That's what I was going to say. I think Bernardo was brilliant when he came on.
I mean,
Ibrox.
he came on instantly and done what nobody was really attempting to do in that Celtic midfield, and just take a man on.
Aye.
Because the second he came on, he's taking the ball past the player, and we're up the park, and there's a chance getting created. And I feel like for a lot of the game we were too passive in possession. We were just sort of falling into the old habits of just side to side, nobody making moves and that. But he took it upon himself to do it, and I'm like, that's what you're kind of missing, that sort of dynamism in the midfield, and hopefully he gets the chance to prove it. Because I mean, even going back to the cup final last year,
that's what he done, isn't it?
He took it past Raskin, then his shot led to the rebound that won us the cup. So I would like to see Bernardo in there, but who does he replace for? Do you think Engels is?
I thought Engels.
I
thought Engels had an alright game.
Aye, there is such a weird thing surrounding Engels in there because you either think he's great or you think he's
See,
shite.
I think on Sunday it was weird because at the start of the game I was like, Engels is doing really well here, but I think the turning point for me, in which it maybe started to see a couple more misplaced passes, and that was after they got the goal chopped off. I feel like for that point it wasn't quite as involved in the midfield as he was initially, but I still don't think he had a terrible game.
No, neither do I.
As I said, but the price tag weighs heavy around his neck because it's
I think
used
people
as
forget what age that boy is. Like
21.
See if that was fucking. I'm just going to a centre mid I remember recently, Daniel Kelly. The ones that hate him would be lapping up Daniel Kelly. It's just such a weird. It feels like the people who want to cheer on the foreign youngsters are the same ones that get slagged for saying, "Oh, you don't like the Scottish and Irish players," and then it's vice versa the other way about. But Paulo Bernardo's such a sexy football player, man. Yeah. Like there was that wee bit last week. I think he took the ball and he done like a kind of wee pirouette around the Rangers midfield, and it was gorgeous. I would like to see him.
I think it's remember we were talking about a lot at the start of the season. I think Bernardo was one of the main excitements towards the end of the start of the season.
The first derby, he was brilliant.
Oh, exactly.
He was so good in that first. I remember I was in Berlin, obviously watching it, and I was just, I was like, he's man of the match. He's been starting every week the way he's played here, and he's been really unfortunate with the injuries this season.
I know. I would like to see him get a start on Saturday.
So would you just drop Engels?
That's hard, you know. I don't actually know because I don't even. I think it'd be harsh on that if you did drop him, but
could
I
you
don't know if I want to drop him.
Could you drop McGregor?
I don't think. See, I feel like it'd be harsh. I want Bernardo involved, but I'm no campaigning for anybody in particular to be dropped. I don't think anybody is doing it. I just want to see him involved, and if that falls at the mercy of one of the other three dropping it, then so be it.
Fair enough. And in the front three, Dyson should be fine. I mean, we heard the reason why he wasn't 100%, and it was not injury related. It's because he's expecting Bambino. Has Bambino been born?
I don't know. Still saying Bambino in such a serious tone.
Bambino.
As if that was a constant check-up, isn't it?
Has Bambino been born?
Because was it not did he not fly here before the derby? And then
I did not a flight last.
He got earlier and the wind didn't even.
Is that not like Rodgers was giving him a pass for the chance at the end? He's like, just have a flight.
You see, because this is what I'm trying to think to myself here. Because I read, and I don't know if this was accurate, I read that he flew there before the derby. The Wayne wasn't born. They flew back for the game. So surely the Wayne's got to have been born by now. It can't be another fucking.
I mean, he was at the Player of the Year thing and that.
I know.
I honestly don't know.
It's a weird one, isn't it? Bambino tweeting, man.
Was that not the same with Trusty, one of the Parkhead derby or something? He was trapped because he thought he was having a win and they never went till later or something.
God knows.
Not a clue.
We never know. Dyson might be in Japan right now for all we know.
Could be born as we speak.
What would be your front three, Dylan?
I would probably be the same as Ibrox. I think you'd go Maida Forest just because everybody wants to see Forest get this goal in it for the streak to continue. But
he did say Kuhn could be fine for this week, but do you have him in the same boat as Johnson? You just wouldn't risk it.
I wouldn't risk him.
Bench at me.
I don't you need to because obviously Forest is. Right, I think Forest did an alright.
So is that
game, by the way.
The first half.
He just doesn't have the legs to.
The biggest problem was the pace wasn't there for him. But I mean, I'm not.
in the first half he had a fair couple of runs at them, but I mean,
imagine
when you got to the
pass,
second half, you're like, right, he's not got any merit of that.
How you saying that?
The pass, remember the Ida? It was like a rubbish pass. Could have been in for his goal.
That would have been his goal right there. I really doubted I missed that, but I guess we'll never know. So that's our teams. Any final thoughts on the weekend before I score predictions?
Don't think so.
I just keep thinking about on Trophy Day, it was like a charity match. Everybody's trying to get Forest to score, just pure holding back the the Vic Star treatment.
Line up in an American football formation, just batter everybody out the way.
They need to win a penalty, man. Surely. When was last with a penalty, man?
I know.
Ever since this Forest thing's come up, we can't get a penalty.
I know. And that's the thing, I bet he wouldn't even take it. He'll shit himself.
I've been nonsense and all, innit?
He'll shit himself. Score predictions.
3-0.
We've never got one right since doing this in a while.
No, next year I probably want to keep track. I've never tried to keep track of score predictions.
Next season we should do like a points.
But because I went on a really good run maybe last season. I can't remember. It was a run I was getting them right every fucking week for about 9 weeks straight. I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm good at this. But so 3-0.
I'm going 3-0.
Clean sheet, okay.
4-1.
4-1, 4 goals. Wow. I'm going to go 2-0 Celtic. I'd be quite happy with that. Either a double, please. Give me it. Thanks. Let's go on to... Right, so let me just clarify. A few things came up today for myself. Didn't get the chance to get 2 quizzes done, but our volunteer quizmaster at the minute, Nathan, has supplied us with yet another game, which was meant for full time. It was our new full-time quiz for today. But because there's no half-time quiz, I'm going to just put this here. We'll do the Twitter questions at the end to end off the show. Who's a fan of the 1% club? We have got a Celtic 1% club, which has been supplemented with graphics. Now, I have been emailed this in the last kind of 10 minutes, so I will try and put this up on screen for you. This is the kind of thing that next season we want this to be involved, this telly beside me, so that I can put it up on the screen and we can all see it. And because I've not got my new laptop yet, sadly, I can't show you the slides, so you're just going to have to use your imaginations, boys. But effectively, 1% club, it's questions keep getting asked until the last person standing or something. I've never actually watched it.
Have you never watched 1%?
I know what kind of goes on. I've seen clips of it, but I don't know the full format.
I'm the same, I think.
I know it's like if you get like the 80% question wrong, you're out. But obviously, it's just a process elimination to get you down to 1% question, and it's usually between a couple of people.
So I've been given what looks like, yes, each question will get, so he sent me a wee real page. Celtic 1% club. Each question will get progressively more difficult, starting off with a question 90% of people should get right down to the most difficult 1% question. You earn a pass if you get the 60% question right, and you can use that to skip anything beyond that. So are you meant to get up with your phones and write your answers down to flip
Then
through?
sure.
So if you just get your Snapchat up or something and just write your answers as if it was a white. But next season I'm going to invest in whiteboards for the podcast.
We're going big time.
We're going big time. So I have got the questions all the way down to the 1%. Are you ready for the 90% question?
So happens if we get the 90% wrong, is it over?
You're out.
This could be
It's
bad. This
just
could
me,
get
son.
Right, are you ready?
Yeah.
The 90% question is: Celtic broke their record transfer sale at the beginning of this season by selling which player? So at the start of this season, which player was sold by Celtic to shatter their transfer record? Is there meant to be like a time limit? There's maybe like 10 seconds or something.
It'll be.
Aye. Right, if you are ready, I'll ask you to flip your phones in 5.
I've actually froze here.
Oh, no! Yeah.
Oh my god, I've actually jinxed it.
Do you know what? I'm going to scap the countdown and just give you a wee second to think this through.
Wait, we need to keep this going.
Because you should know this.
Why is my brain just malfunctioning?
Sold for a lot of money.
This summer.
I can't really give you much more of a clue than Celtic selling a player at the start of this season for a lot of money.
Oh my god.
It
Mate, this is matter.
Do you want to look at my homework?
Jesus.
was maybe a midfielder.
Oh my god.
Beautiful man.
Oh my god.
You got it now, aye.
That's embarrassing. See, I just jinxed
The
it.
pressure's got you.
Jesus.
You can flip your phones in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Matt O'Reilly, that is
One of my
correct.
favourite players of all time. Lately, I see it all the time. Jesus.
It's alright, it's the nerves. The first
Jesus.
game nerves. We'll give you pass there. 80% question.
God.
Who was Celtic's top scorer in the Champions League this season with 4 goals? 4 goals in the Champions League this season. Top scorer for us in the competition. I will give you a wee 15 or so seconds. Kieran, you look as though you've got it already. Have you got it as well?
That's straightforward, I think.
Oh, have you got, okay, right, well, on you go, flip your phones in. Very tiny writing, but that is correct. Dyson Maeda.
That's that.
Dyson
Yeah, really,
Maeda
man.
is correct. Congrats both of you to the 70% question. If you get this right, you have the chance to earn a pass soon. So Brendan Rodgers became the first manager to take Celtic to the Champions League knockout stages since what manager? So who was the last manager before Rodgers to take Celtic to the knockout stages of the Champions League? And it looks as though both of you have got this one pretty quickly. So I'm assuming that I'll be able to say that you can flip your phones now and show me Neil Lennon, yes. Neil Francis
writing's
Lennon
quite
is
small
correct.
again.
Right, okay, 60% question. If you get this right, you have earned a pass.
Right.
And you can use it in any question from here on out. How many goals have Celtic scored in the Glasgow Derby combined this season? So across all 5 Derby games, how many goals have Celtic scored in all competitions? As I said, 5 games, 5 derbies. How many goals have Celtic scored? Both of you look as though you are hard at work. Hope you're arithmetic. By the way, we should say that Dylan actually won the quiz last week.
I did reply in the comments to that.
Really should have prefaced that by saying that Dylan won. So congrats, Dylan. Well done, mate.
Thanks. Shout out the
I
comment.
really enjoyed that quiz last week. Anyway, flip your phones. What is the answer? 9 is correct. Yes. Okay, you've both got a pass. So if you want to use your pass, just type pass and show me it at the time. Don't.
What if the answer is pass?
Then we'll come to that bridge when it does appear. Right, 50% question. How many Celtic players have hit double digits for goals and assists for Celtic this season in all competitions? So how many players have double digits for goals and assists? So 10 goals, 10 assists. Who's done it? How many should I say? Not wanting their names, just how many have done it. 10 goals, 10 assists. Of course, your pass could be in play. This is one that I would have struggled with personally. Aye.
10 goals, 10 assists.
Does it need to be both together, if you know what I mean?
So
So it has to be
minimum
like,
of 10
it has to be
goals,
at least 10
10
goals
and 10
and
assists.
10
Right,
assists. So both categories. I'll give you a wee second there because that one is tricky.
That is a wee bit tricky.
That one is tricky.
I feel like I'm going to go it here.
Oh, well, have you got an answer?
I've got an answer or not, but I'm the same.
Right, well, flip your phones. Oh, wow. The correct answer's 4, which means Dylan is correct. And technically is the winner this week. Congratulations.
See, after the
Dylan.
first bit, man, that's not
So the 4 was Dyson Maeda, of course. Nicholas Kuhn, of course. Who was the other 2?
McGregor and Engels.
Not McGregor and Engels.
Oh.
Hitati
Oh.
and Engels.
I just
McGregor,
didn't think the both of them had got to...
Nah, well, apparently so. Apparently so. But I'll let you keep playing, but you don't need to do the whole. You could just.
Was it 10 goals and 10 assists?
Yeah, I think.
I did not think
Aye.
the two of them were
Double
on
digits
10
for
goals.
Because if it was goals and assists combined, then McGregor would have been an answer. He's got more than 10 goals and assists.
Aye.
So you can fact check it afterwards.
I know, it probably is right, but in my head, they have not scored that many goals this season.
Well, apparently so. Could double check if you want to know. 40% question. I'll let you just answer. You don't need to type it up or anything. How many goals have we conceded on our way to the Scottish Cup final? I would have been here all day for this.
Fuck, would we...
I think who we've all played.
Put Kelly, Wraith.
Think of the Kelly game. That's it.
I can't fucking remember that.
One.
Aye.
One's the correct answer. 30% question. Was Celtic handed out their Player of the Year this week? The second award under Rodgers in his second spell. But who won the award in Rodgers' second season in his first spell? So who was Player of the Season in the 2017-18?
Was it no Sinclair again?
Nope.
No, Tierney?
Nope.
Dunno.
Had a great campaign. Great campaign.
17, 18.
Scott Brown. Scott Brown was the answer.
was it?
I wouldn't have said that.
20% question. How many Japanese players have Celtic had in their history? That would have took you a while to try and figure out.
8.
8. Oh, correct. It is 8. It is 8 indeed. Of course, Nakamura, Mizuno, Ideguchi, Kobayashi, Iwata, Hitati, Maeda and Kyogo. And the 10% question would have been, this week Tierney could have become the only third former Celt to reach a Champions League final. Who were the other 2?
Larson and...
Well, see, this is where I'm...
Was that-
This is what I'm confused. This can't be right because...
Does it mean like anybody that's played for Celtic has played in it?
This week, Tierney could have become only the third former Celt to reach a Champions League final. Who were the other 2? Because the answer he's got here is Van Dijk and Wanyama. But then what about Paul Lambert and Henrik?
I know.
Did they have to lose?
Was it an English team?
Maybe
Maybe an English
maybe
team?
I forgot to put that part in.
Maybe
Aye, but that was the 10% question.
it's obviously Tottenham, Liverpool, innit?
Aye.
Arsenal. So.
And then the 1% question was, what former Cel's career path was this? I'm glad you didn't get here because I would have had to fucking... But the career path was Elche, Villarreal, Ruben Kazan, Celtic on loan, Las Palmas on loan, Panathinaikos, Granada, Alaves, Jiangsu, Shuning, Shenzhen and Yupen.
Miku.
No.
I don't think I've got a guess.
Mubarak Wakaso.
I would
Oh,
never
yeah.
have got that.
Mubarak Wakaso. So there's your 1% club. Dylan does win by getting to the... Getting the 50% right? Something like that, I think. I
Something like that.
Oh, yeah, after the first one,
Congrats.
call it.
Second half of the show, there's not an awful lot to talk about this week. It's been pretty quiet, all things considered. One of the big talking points that came out was Celtic's pre-season friendly, Newcastle. That's been announced, 25 quid for a ticket. It doesn't look as though it's selling all that well. Are you shocked?
Absolutely not.
Are you not going to go?
No, no chance. But it's just a...
The club are under fire.
Aye, I mean, I watched your video. I was interested to see the comments of people. You've obviously got the ones where nobody's forcing you to go. I'm like, well, everybody's paying their money for a season ticket. It's the point you made, but like, you're paying all this money for a season ticket now, because there's such a big waiting list. They don't need to give you any benefit to it anymore. You're paying to keep your season ticket because they're saying to you, well, if you get up, we've got another fucking 5,000-6,000 people there wanting your space, so fucking leave if you want. We don't care, you're just a number.
Customer.
Like, that is essentially it. And you think back to 7-8 years ago when you were getting qualifiers included in it, friendlies. I mean, not everybody might have went, but you always had that option. You felt you were getting a bit more
Bang for your buck.
like, it's frustrating. I feel like this would have been the open goal to just say, all right, it's on the season ticket.
Pretty sure the last season to get any form of perk was the first season post-COVID, and you were given the West Ham game if you were drawn for that, and then I'm sure there was another.
We got Midtjylland.
We got Midtjylland, which did we get for free, or did we have to pay?
I do have the ticket still in my house. I would need to consult it, but I think it was free
because I'd seen the graphics saying the things that you were getting for that scene because you missed, and you got a £50 voucher for the Sellik shop. I remember that because you missed out in a full season.
That's right. Yeah.
You got a £50, but that was they had to do that because you were done out a season. So you know,
it's just frustrating because the ticket prices continue to rise. You're not getting anything for it, and you've got people that are somehow taking the side of the board.
I deleted a very emotionally driven comment. It was up for about 30 seconds, but I went through my comment section. I seen the amount of people that were, and I will use the word bootlicking. If you don't like it, lump it. It is bootlicking. It's fucking bootlicking at its finest. I've seen a good few of them in the comments. Obviously, very minimal, but compared to the amount of people who agree. And I had a very strong worded, emotionally driven comment that I deleted because I was like, people are just going to find this. But I'll say it here. If you're siding with the board, why? You're not getting anything out of it. Unless you're a high-duty shareholder at the club, you're getting nothing out of it. They're not going to be impressed. They're not going to give you a season book before anybody else. They don't give a fuck if you think it's good or no. You should be siding with your fellow supporter. Always. And if you have that money, good for you. I applaud your apparent wealth. If you can afford that and you think it's fine, and if you're telling everybody else just don't buy it, I applaud you for finding that wealth or whatever it is that drives you to think that. But I just think it's pretty shit to be on that side of things.
The thing that irked me really was other people saying £25 actually a great price for it.
For a friendly, a league game's like 32 quid or something.
I'm like, you're absolute crackpots.
Aye,
if you think £25.
There is a real problem. There is fans that support Celtic who genuinely, and I don't know what it is that causes it, but there is people that think the board can't do no wrong because it's Celtic and because they put Celtic above all else. Anybody who makes decisions at the club must know better than the fans. There is people who think like that. Oh, if Lawwell says it or whoever says it, it's fine. They run my club. I'm like, no, you should be challenging the people that are running your club. We are formed at a charity, and there's been fuck all charitable about this club the last 5 years.
It's as if they've just like said Newcastle or Premier League or people want to see that Eddie Howe, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, it's just as a joke. As you said, like used to get like, at least 1 or 2 games per season at the start of the season, and as it's a friendly, it's just like, you'd even if you did go, let's see if I went, I'd actually be annoyed. Like I'd be sitting there like, why have I done this or not? I mean, see stuff like that. You would just be in a cool mood, go to the game.
Seen the B team play.
Exactly.
it's gonna
You can't
be
even be
easy.
guaranteed like a new signing be playing or like a record-breaking transfer's going to be playing his first game at his party. Blah blah blah. You don't like you could be like Johnny Kenny. No offense to Johnny Kenny, but it could be like Johnny Kenny, Ralston, blah
People are
blah,
picking them
Montgomery or something.
People
like,
are going on about like, oh, Scales versus Isaac will be a good laugh. There's not even a guarantee that he'll play.
I know. Who's to say Newcastle's going to play their star
I
players?
know, Calum Wilson hobbling out crutches. That's probably what's going to happen. I don't understand how you can side with the whole £25 not that bad. It is. It's pathetic. In this day and age where the rich are getting richer and things are just getting dearer, how the fuck can you justify it?
I know,
Because it's the Adidas Cup.
Oh, no, don't you get me started on that shite as well. The 2 League Cup champions, I'm like, give me peace, man.
Never done before. Won't be done again.
I let the League
I
Cup
didn't even
Super
know that
Cup,
was a
man.
thing.
Somebody raised the point, and I guess, this is where I'll ask you guys to explain the difference for the simpletons that might want to think of this. Somebody said in the comments that was like, oh, you'll moan about £25 for Parkgate, but if it was a £40 ticket at St James's Park, you'd have probably been gone.
I'd pay 80.
But the difference is, right, that's like a full day out. It's like
a trip, innit?
it's a trip. You can make the most of it. If you're making that journey, it's because you feel like you've been given an incentive to go because it's a good wee day out. But you go to Parkhead 30 times a year. Like,
I feel it sounds a lot more appealing to pay a wee bit more to go to one of these English teams away in a friendly, be a good laugh.
Aye.
Well, let me go a day for Newcastle at home, go to a half-empty stadium. It's just not the same feel to it. And
No.
I get the argument, oh, you'd pay more. I'm like, fucking, of course you would.
Aye, it's a completely different experience. And I tend to find that the people that make those sort of comments, I don't mean to judge, but I don't know these people. People that comment my videos, I know very little of them. You know, I know maybe 2 or 3 people that I've had the pleasure of meeting in the streets, and they're always so nice, they're always so lovely. But the ones that comment, you see, they've tend to got a history to comment certain sorts of things, and it's always the ones that you tend to find probably have never been anywhere near Parkhead, let alone anything else, and they're not in tune with the support. And it's because they want to be edgy and have a different opinion.
I mean, see the ones that are saying £25 a good deal. I mean, seen as these money bags have got money to throw about. You see me at Celtic Park, slip me a wee score. You've clearly got money to piss up against
I'll
the
take
wall,
the
man.
£25, thanks very much. So you'll no be going, Dylan, you'll no be going.
See what I was thinking about with friendlies? See how we went to like Blackburn and that earlier? Were they on the season book? Because
No, I would never have paid for that.
No, that's
They
what I'm
must have
thinking.
been.
There is no way in hell I'd have paid
Especially
to go and
because
see
it was
that.
a Saturday 12:30 or something as well, wasn't it?
Like,
I'm sure they were included.
Aye,
Sure
they would
they
have
were.
been. Must have been.
That was what, 2022?
Aye, that was post-COVID, so that must have been like the last.
Aye, the remnants.
Aye.
Because there was like
COVID
Norwich and all
benefits.
that as well, wasn't there? There
Aye,
was,
because we played Norwich and Blackburn.
There was no way I'd have went to any day I would have paid money to go. No chance. I remember going to like Wolfsburg and that was free.
Wolfsburg
Aye,
was
no,
free,
that was
aye.
back in 2016.
So, aye, I remember going to that.
Christopher Ayer.
I think there was what? Did we not play like? Am I
There
talking
was a
shite
Leicester.
PSG or something like that?
No.
No,
We played Leicester.
Aye, the cup that did cost money though.
Aye,
that
paid
did
for
cost
that.
money. Paid for that.
That was the Champions Cup.
The
Matt.
Champions Cup. Aye, that was like the whole. That was like our first game, wasn't it? After getting season books.
Aye.
But we weren't even sitting up because we went to the game. Well, that's where we'll be sitting. We were pointing up to it. That'll
See,
be our
I can't
seats up
mind
there.
when that game was.
It was
I
like
can't mind if
July,
it was before or
20,
after the Wolfsburg
July
one.
2016 before Wolfsburg, I'm sure.
See, I always thought Wolfsburg was first as well because that was the first game with the standings. The Wolfsburg game was the first one with the standing section.
Aye.
Was that before Invincible season? They 2 games?
Aye.
Because
right.
we obviously,
Aye.
mind we postponed like playing
God, what a
Partick
conversation.
Thistle. We postponed playing Partick Thistle in 2016 to go and play Barca in
That's right.
Ireland.
Ireland, aye. Sponsorless gradient kit. Vibes, man.
Messi had the blonde
Blonde
hair.
hair.
Aye.
SAV Roberts, man.
The club are coming under heavy fire recently for a lot of these decisions to do with the increased prices, to do with situations like this, merchandise going up. I mean, this is all coming back to what the Green Brigade protested about. And we were talking about this in the ticket office the other day. Me and my dad. You want to follow Celtic before you've even bought a pie at the game. You're paying $2,000 to go home and away. If you're one of the lucky few that can follow them out of Europe, okay, take away the European games. In fact, the European away games are some of the cheapest games to go to. When you get the likes of Dortmund or Bayern, when tickets are only 15, 20, 25 euro. So you're taking the league home and away. You're spending upwards of £1,600, I think, to follow Celtic before you have bought a pie. And yet they're charging £75 for a shirt. They're charging whatever for a fucking Fanta.
I mean, like, how many? Obviously, it's just down to the draw. But how many home cup games have we had this season?
A lot.
Because we've played 3 at home in the Scottish Cup.
Yep. And then
Did we play 3 at home in
There was a lot of home ties,
in
wasn't
the
there?
League
2
Cup?
in the League Cup at home?
Hibs, Rafe and Kerry.
Falkirk and Hibs.
Falkirk, Hibs and...
Aye. And then we went away to... No, we only... It was straight to Hampden.
Because we
played
go round
two
the
and then
16.
go to Hampden.
Aye, so we've had 5 home cup games, 4 Champions League tickets
games,
to
which is an
buy.
increase.
My God.
Aye.
I've spent thousands this season.
Aye.
That's obviously thrown in, gone to like...
You're volunteering to go.
Aye,
Europe.
I mean, nobody's had a gun at my head making me go to Atalanta, Zagreb and Munich. Again, I wish they did that to give me an excuse for spending that much money.
to see us get a whole couple of points.
I mean, technically, I never seen us get beat in the 90 minutes and 3 draws.
Aye, it's a wild time to be a Celtic supporter.
But, I mean, we're going to touch on the cup tickets. Me and you were
We've
lucky
been
enough to be
balloted, we've been
balloted.
lucky, aye.
First time in fucking ages.
Well, for you anyway.
Because, I mean, I've not been balloted for the previous 2 finals, but, I mean, you never got balloted, did you? But
Nah.
a lot of people are in this boat, no getting balloted, and obviously it is down to luck of the draw. It's down to oversubscription of the home cup scheme because of pure greed for the board instead of capping it at the
Well,
rightful
I
amount.
put it in the chat. I was in the ticket office renewing my season book, and the amount of people who were leaving the window, obviously fed up that they're not getting drawn for tickets, or not getting the chance to get drawn for tickets. I heard a good 7 or 8, maybe 9 people asking before they left, "Can you add me onto the home cup ticket scheme?" And and they bother. I'm like, this is going to stop.
It's going to get to the stage where
everybody's on it. You know, like we're going to get the last rumour I heard was 37,000 on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
But I mean, you've already got that many people trying to get tickets for a 50-50 split when it comes to Hampden. It's really no helped when thousands are getting put by for Celtic to upsell tickets as part of a very shit hospitality package. Celtic are, I mean, I said it in the last podcast, but if you've got £200 for the very cheapest one, £400 for the dearest one to spend to get the bus to and from Celtic Park, a few pints in there, a meal. I mean, if you've got the money, you can buy yourself a cup final ticket without sweating about any ballots or anything. And that pisses me off to the extent. I mean, obviously, I could have done it if I wanted, but I've not got hundreds of pounds at the end of what's already been a very expensive season to just guarantee myself a ticket. It's just feels like you're not getting priced out, but
Aye, it's coming though.
it's getting to that
That's what
point
it's going
where
to end up becoming, innit?
unless
It's just you
you've
need to,
got
like,
the
dish
extra
it
few
out.
hundred, you can kiss any chance of a final ticket goodbye, because it's making what's already a limited allocation even worse.
Wild times is what we're living in. Dylan, you sat there listening to the 2 old bastards ranting. I take it you're just...
I've just agree with you, to be honest, anyway. But as Kieran said, I think it's just going to get to that stage where you're to see your team playing a cup final, you might need to just dish out the big bucks in the future, just because it's like it's getting that. It's the same way away tickets as well. Like these days, it's like it's quite hard to like get into that position to even have a chance of going. You know what I mean?
Aye.
Like you've had a season ticket for that long, so it's just getting more difficult at certain times to see your club play the cup finals. But that's what it is, isn't it?
Not much we can do about it, and I hope that the people
Hope it improves.
I hope that people are in the comments saying, "Listen to the phrase, money bastards." I was going to say something. I'm not going to sit there and go, "Great."
Listen, mate, I'm skint.
I'd be lying through my teeth if I wasn't bothered. You know, I'm not bothered, and I hope something changes. Right, let's finish off the show with the Twitter questions.
I've
Have
got them
you got
here,
them there? And you go, Kieran, take it away. I'll give my voice a rest.
Right, starting off this week, we've got Alistair Jackson. What do you guys think of the growing talk at Josh Brownhill on a pre-contract? As soon as the season ends, it will be official as the talk. A name we've been linked with for ages. I mean, it's something that's not been brought up today and has been circulating on social media. But, I mean, you've seen his return this season for Burnley. He seemed to be a pretty important player. And on a free, you can't really argue it. But, I mean, I'd be more than happy to see somebody come in to that.
I was going to say, he has been linked to us a couple of times, I'm sure.
Last summer.
Aye, so...
You happy with it?
I'm the same boat as Kieran. It's an interesting one. Like, I wouldn't really be mad at it because obviously he's had a decent season and it's a free usage. So, but I guess it's a position I'd be looking at as well. So,
Aye.
but
Is he? He's a deeper line midfielder, isn't he? I mean, he's got a good return, right enough, but
I would be lying if I knew.
Yeah,
Ryan.
I'm sure that's his main position.
He's had a wee bit of Prem experience, you know.
He got 2 goals in the the last game of the season against
Listen,
Millwall.
the way that I always, if he comes in to be, and I people might go, Ryan, he's nothing like this. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I know him bit for bit, but if he was to come in and say be a number 2 to McGregor, I think that's fine, because that's probably the hardest position to come in and be a Celtic player, because you're not going to dislodge the captain. So it's kind of like being a backup keeper, isn't it? Like, you've got to accept that you're going to be number 2 to somebody, and that's not going to change unless an injury happens. So I'm for the experience he's got, I'm fine with that. Fine with that. But we shouldn't neglect the midfield.
Aye. I don't think if he was to come in, I'd be completely happy. That's the end of the business in that area. But I know I wouldn't gripe at him coming in. But thanks for the question, Alistair. Lewis asks, do you think Sinisalo should start the cup final even if Schmeichel does return for it? Or should we just start our strongest team possible? Plus, did you watch the GTA 6 trailer?
What's your thoughts on this trailer?
That was quite random, wasn't it? I don't know about you, I didn't expect it.
I wasn't expecting it to come out, but I mean, there was obviously, I think they had to sort of put something in to fill the gap, the horrific announcement.
They're definitely just trying to calm everybody down a wee bit, but it looked unbelievable.
The graphics looked mental, didn't they?
It's like that somebody put up that screenshot on Twitter, how am I meant to go back to this, and it's GTA 5. Like, I've always looked at GTA 5 as a stunning game, but now I'm looking at it going, fuck me.
I mean, the game is 13 years.
But it's crazy.
But
though,
at the time, it was like...
It still looks incredible, obviously it does, but like, it is insane how far graphics are just gone year after year. Even like the between GTA 4 and GTA. So we're all big fans.
Surely that will like blow up if you put it in your PlayStation 4 or something like that.
Well, I'm actually like that. I was thinking this. Are we all going to have to go and buy PlayStation Pros to play it to its optimum?
I think you'll need to get it now, Jen, wouldn't you? I'm assuming. Especially watching the graphics.
I know, fucking hell. What was his real question again?
If you think, sorry, we got sidetracked.
We did touch on this.
But if Schmeichel was back, would you think Sinisalo should get the start? I think it's odd into the next few games, personally. I think if I was asked this question on our cup final preview, I might have a different answer. But right now, I think it will be Schmeichel coming back.
Right.
But we'll see how the next few games
at this moment of time, I wouldn't be mad at Sinisalo starting the cup final, because I don't think he's done anything wrong. I think he did quite good at Ibrox for what he had today and stuff. But obviously, if Schmeichel's back for the cup final, it's probably a no-brainer to play Schmeichel. But I wouldn't be mad at Sinisalo.
What I will say is, Sinisalo has done a tremendous job since coming into not only just his performances. I think that he has done the one important thing, and that was giving Celtic fans, especially the indecisive ones, the faith that he will be fine to come in and be number 1. When Schmeichel's retiring this time next year, I think people will be like, can't wait to see Sinisalo. And that is the most important thing.
I mean, we were praising the sort of forward plan as we spoke about when it came to it, and hopefully this means that we're not going to be in the position next year. What's going to happen with the goalkeeper position? It's no one that you want there to be uncertainty. And I mean, we've already done our fair share of uncertainty in the goalkeeper position in the COVID season. I don't want any more of that back. So it's nice to know that we've got somebody lined up that people are going to be happy with.
Aye. It's a good position to be in.
Colin Watt says 100 Kingsleys or 1 Silverback Gorilla. Who wins?
I seen this earlier. Is this Kingsley the Partick Thistle?
I would assume so. Aye.
Oh.
I'm backing the Kingsleys, man. They're scary.
I think
how about 1 Kingsley versus one?
Don't need 100.
I think the Gorilla would
shit himself.
Aye. I'm going Kingsley.
Aye.
I think 100 Kingsley is just greedy.
2 is fine.
Don't need that, man.
And then we got Nathan, the quizmaster.
Yes.
He said, is there any old players you keep an eye out to see how they're getting on, or do you not care once they leave Celtic? See, I feel like mine doesn't really think, like, I don't really go, I'm going to keep checking up on that, but sometimes you'll have a pure random player and you go, fuck, wonder what he's up to.
No, I'm the same. See, the Yata's name came up. I think he was speaking about Rodgers this week.
Oh, was he?
He said that when he left, Rodgers told me to be welcome back any time.
I know.
I hope that's not him trying to get a move on the go, but I don't know. For me, it's always if I go through Twitter and somebody pops up, I'm like, fuck, I wonder how they've been going, and that's about it. When a player goes, they go. And because, see, when you think about it, right, see the high profile ones, the ones you care about, they're always going somewhere you're going to hear anyway. Like Matt O'Reilly going to Brighton.
Aye.
Like, it's hardly like about a tune of what's happening down in
I'm thinking obscure here, like somebody you've looked at and you went, oh my god, they're playing there. Like, I mean, it's not even like a Celtic player, but like, for example, I remember seeing that Liam Cooper, the man that played for Leeds, he plays in Bulgaria.
Oh, does he?
I'm pretty sure he plays for CSK Sofia. Aye.
Wow. What about you, Dylan? Is there anybody?
Nah, I think it's more just the big players that leave, like your O'Reillys and that. I think I like keeping an eye on them, and obviously Ange at Tottenham, but nah, it's even like players like Shved and that. I should start doing that, like just keep up to date with people at Ange, but what they did now. But who's the wee boy we had for? I'm sure he was Australian. I think he scored a couple.
Tilly?
I think
Tilly's doing well.
he's on loan, isn't he? But I'm sure he scored the other day. So
Wonder how Anton Rodgers is doing.
Still riding on the coattails of his father.
Oh, God bless him.
Right, we'll move on to the next question. Aidan says, do you think we'll get much business done early this summer, or do you think we'll wait until we know if we've qualified for the Champions League or not? I don't think we can afford to be waiting to do the business at that way.
Who has asked the question?
Aidan.
Aidan, I mean this with all due respect. There's knowing Celtic, I wouldn't.
I know, I reckon, but there's still. I don't think we'll be going into that last week and no sign anybody, but I hope we've got the vast majority of any business we're going to conduct done and dusted before pre-season in a perfect world.
Celtic were stressing you but didn't they, when it comes to transfer, so I wouldn't put it past them.
Wouldn't put it past them to do free signings and deadline.
Remember the wee respite we had for this shite for like season where we were getting business done early and then it's just fell back into old habits.
Well, I tell you, I've got a full summer to fill up with content. They can drag out as much as they like.
Thanks, Aidan. Kieran Wilson says, do you think when Jasper retires, Sinisal will be starting keeper straight away? We covered that there. I think
makes me think the plan for the Simpsons.
Moon pie. But thanks anyway. Svolst here is saying, tell us top 3 worst looking Rangers players. I'm going to say, I mean, it just might mean fans as well with that term, but let's go players. McCausland's the very obvious answer. That was the one that pops to me.
Surely Barron's up there and all with the eyes.
Them boys not had a good night's sleep.
They never sleeps, didn't they?
That is like, they bags are, I don't like to bully about appearance, but they bags are bagging. Like,
bags on bags.
Aye.
Kent. Aye. No, aye. He was a haircut, man.
Rattier man. An absolute rattier man.
The palest man.
Try and think who else has been early years.
Morelos.
Oh, aye. Morelos. He's up there.
Fuck, I think you could use an answer when I'm too.
Oh, God. I can't even think of. I don't like Kenny Miller. He had wiry faces when he tire slap, man. Just try and think who else.
And I'm trying to think back here. I always hated to look at Lee McKillop.
Who?
Lee McKillop.
Oh, he's got wiry faces and all, hasn't he? Just Barry Ferguson and all.
Aye. It's false also did say, mind Owen Moffat. Some laughing.
Owen Moffat?
Where is he playing now? I feel like I checked
this.
I feel like I looked this up recently.
Because he went to like Blackpool when he first left, didn't he? And that did not work
the
out.
Jimmy Johnson region, man.
Well, he's not that far. He's playing for Greenock Morton.
That's right, so he is, Morton. Because I seen a Morton fan on Twitter talking about him recently. Aye, that's right.
Well, that answers that.
Aye.
Ryan McBride, food question for the lads.
Yes.
If you could bring one restaurant that's no in Scotland to Scotland, where are you choosing?
IHOP.
Really?
But
breakfast.
Aye, mate. Do you know what I want?
You live in a country that does breakfast so amazingly well already. I think you need to go elsewhere.
My reason isn't for the food. I want one of the. What? My reason isn't for the food. I've been getting TikToks about this recently, and it's making me really fucking want it. See, like, you know how IHOP's like 24/7. I want like that. I want IHOP. I want to be able to go at 2 a.m. when I'm lonely and sad. I want to be able to go. That's a real Jim Halpert look to the camera.
That's the end of the question.
I want to see when it's 2 a.m. and I'm in my feels, mate. I want to be able to go and sit with my pancakes, my bacon rashers, my eggs, and the music's just slightly playing, dimly lit, and I'm at the roadside watching murderers go past with bodies.
Dim headlights.
I just want that, mate. So I'm choosing IHOP.
Yeah, what about you, Doug?
Exact same answer. I think these kids are ties into breakfast. I'd say Waffle House.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Yes.
Sorry, Kieran.
Sorry, Kieran.
I wouldn't go in that detail about the other stuff.
That man just wants waffles now. What
are you picking then? Go.
I don't know. Something
fancy
I've no
pants.
Like In and Out. I think that would be fucking class.
But then In and Out is like. You hear a lot of this stuff about In and Out, how it's not even as like good as Shake Shack is. And I'm like, well, I've had Shake Shack.
I do love Shake Shack.
Five Guys is just as good apparently. So
I'm not buying that, but the marketing has got me. In and out is the best thing in the world that I've
but
never
then
tried.
it's that, like you're going to be about breakfast. That's just a burger.
I know, but it's a damn good burger.
You got America, didn't you?
I mean, I'm just assuming it's good. I'm trying to think, like, because even stuff that I pure like in America, I'm like, I think that would do well here, like Chili's. Like,
Chili's,
I feel like you can get very similar stuff here.
Aye, welcome to Chili's.
I mean, you've already got stuff like Popeyes and all that here, so...
But I will say is, we're all going about American boys. A lot of them don't travel well. A lot of them don't. A lot of them let me down when they come out here. And you know it's much better there because you've had it there or...
Dave's Hot Chicken is the one I want to try out of the American chicken shops. I mean, Raising Cane's obviously is the real hyped
I would
one.
like. Do you know what I'd like to come out here? I'm a big sandwich guy. Jersey Mike's.
Oh no, that does look banging.
I would maybe like Jersey Mike's could be my answer. Apparently that's like makes Subway look like fucking shit.
I actually got a TikTok of that again last night. It's been a while since I've seen it, but it looks...
But I'm going IHOP. Sorry, Kieran.
Very disappointing.
Kieran Rogers just saying thoughts on the new Pope, lads. I mean, we briefly discussed that at the start.
We did.
I wonder what the Yank thinks we should bring her to Scotland.
What exciting. We'll wait and see what happens with his papacy, I suppose.
Roseanne Moe's back. She says, how do you spend your time when the football season is over? Now, Ryan likes to go to an IHOP at 2 a.m.
You will find me in a 24-hour roadside McDonald's watching as the murderers go by.
No, but summer is really... Like, you're really deprived of it. Like, see, especially the summers where there's no a European
tournament,
no Euros, no World Cup or anything.
Last year we were quite lucky it was the Euros, then there was a cut.
You've got the Club World Cup.
Can I say something controversial though? I'm actually kind of looking forward to a summer with football. I felt really... I was talking about this last night and David Buick was in agreement with me, especially... It's only the Prem that's done it to me. Getting a wee bit tired of football at the minute, just a wee bit fatigued. I feel like there's been so much yet. And the way that in the Prem, you stick on a Prem game, you end up regretting it. You're like, this is pish.
I don't think I've no regretted watching a Premier League game this year, but I will admit the Barcelona Inter two-legged
that saved football.
That restored my faith.
That was ball at its fucking finest. But I think that football needs a wee reset this summer. Well, the only thing is this Club World Cup. So
I mean, I think I need a reset for putting card bets on. So I'm going to spend it in a gambling detox. But
that extra money.
Toby is asking, any holidays planned for the summer? Well, me and Ryan and the rest of the group are going to Santa Ponza. But have you got any planned, Dylan?
No, I mean, I'm just got America booked next year, so
I need to
keep my money for that.
Dylan, turn up Louisiana.
Yeah.
That's when we're going to come back with the IHOP fucking franchise keys.
I mean, I'll be going stateside in November as well. So
you're getting away this year.
American Yanks here.
Aye, go and say hello to the Pope.
in the International Drive IHOP.
He's sitting up 2 in the morning and he's furious.
He's holding in his nose. He's not seen right.
I'm not cut out for this. I think we've only got a couple of questions left. Sorry, I just lost my place. But
I have no idea how long this episode's been.
Not a clue.
Well, the Colts back this week, you know. So last week it was like a timer, remember? It was like
CB7 says, opinions on Jerry Cinnamon's music. I don't mind a few of the songs. You can appreciate them as catchy numbers, but see, ever since I seen that video of him, like...
Who fucking threw that?
Who fucking threw that? I can't look at the dick in the same way.
Who fucking threw that?
It's like he jumps down off the stage and then just climbs back up like 10 seconds later. I'm like,
Jerry.
Do you like Jerry?
See, I'm for Cashmilk, so he's for that part of it. Aye. But it's weird. I'd say I like some of his music, but I prefer him live, if that makes sense. Like, I wouldn't really go to him
100%.
I'm in my motor. I've we're going to sit and listen to all his tunes.
I got quite
he's good live.
Fatigued these music, to use that word again. Like, it's used to, especially in like pre-COVID, you'd go to gaffs and it was, she kicked me a bell or whatever, and I was just a bit like, mate, this is getting on my tits.
That was around at the same time as like Quiver, Mind That Tune.
No, you've ruined my night.
I'm going to connect to the Bluetooth in your motor and just blast that on repeat.
Right, last question.
Leo, the new Pope is here.
We always knew all the Popes are living boys.
And the Pope is interested in, is there any player out on loan you could see getting a chance in the summer?
No.
I'm trying to think who is out on loan.
Tell you. Well, let me get the.
Well, that's one that you could maybe make an
No.
argument, but I don't think it's going to happen. But out of everybody that's on loan, who else could you
Yeah,
even...
what's his name?
Tell you,
Montgomery.
Alma.
Well, fuck no.
Holmes no back to January.
Nah, he's an MLS.
Aye,
Oh, is he January?
aye, he's no back to January.
Is Tellio back in the summer?
No, aye, he's
'cause-
back in the summer. Aye,
Is he?
aye, because we gave him here for a year and a half. It's a
Aye.
weird fucking thingy.
Is Kwon out on loan?
Yes,
Aye,
he's
he's at Hibs.
still getting a
He's-
fucking chance. No,
Is there any
simple
others?
answer. No,
I know. I feel like nobody that's been put on loan
aye,
has been put on loan with like development.
Aye.
in mind.
Is there a standout, is there? I don't.
no, I don't think so. Oh well, that us?
That's the end of it.
Well, another successful episode. Thank you for joining us this evening on the Celtic, the Thunder, or the whatever you're watching. It could be the morning. I don't know. Kieran and Dylan, thank you.
Pleasure.
Pleasure as always.
We are going to be doing a quick wee Thunder Club. If you want to become a member, you can use the top link in the top line of the description. There's a link down there below. So until next week, where we preview the last game of the season, we're coming to the end now. There's only like 3 episodes left this season, I think. So bear with us and stay with us. We'll see you next week. Ta-da.